Guys, got another video. Actually got the screen sharing on my phone now. Should be a little bit easier to share with you guys. I wanted to show you guys this article which reflects a bigger truth within our faith as being Christians. There are secrets. There are people in secret societies. There are people hidden in the closet, hidden behind just mischievous deeds. And a lot of pastors and people, Christians even, like to think that there's no such thing as conspiracies. There's no such thing as people living secret lives. There's no such thing as government plots and all this type of stuff. But we see it play out every day. We see people come to the surface every day and get exposed for what they are. And I know, I want to say I believe, but I know it's time for us to wake up as Christians, as people of God, to start seeing life for what it is, start seeing Christ for who he is, start seeing the devil for who he is, and what we're supposed to be on mission for, believing, and as disciples of Christ. Um, this is one small example. This person, his name is FL Bubba Copeland. He took his life on Friday night. He was dressing up in his spare time. He was a transgender person dressing up in his spare time. Basically, he was taking his wife's clothes. Let's see down here. He was taking his wife's clothes, and he had a secret Instagram account, and he also had a Reddit account where he was posting these pictures with wigs, his wife's underwear, all this nasty stuff, man. And basically, once he got found out about it, he said it was a harmless hobby that never went beyond the walls of his house, which is a lie because every person on their phone saw it outside of his house, in their house. Two, he said he did it to relieve stress and just a bit of a character. Then he goes on later to say that it was just something for humor. He just wanted to do it for humorous things. He kept just trying to minimize what had been done. He says right here, does it affect him being a mayor that he puts on a dress sometimes or makeup? Does it affect him being a mayor or a pastor? What he does in his private life has nothing to do with what he does in his holy life, which is a lie from the devil himself. This man was deceived and deceiving many. The fact that he would even say something like that shows you the lack of reverence that him and many Christians in the age we live in have right now. Be not yoked to the people of this world. He was a person of this world. He may have dressed up in, the suit and the tie and looked the part, kind of like the Pharisees back in the day with their many garments. You know, many people trying to play the part, trying to seem like a cool guy, but really he was playing. Uh, he was playing a different game that many people didn't know behind closed doors. Not only was he the pastor, though, he was the mayor of this town called Smith Station in Alabama. This was not California. This is Alabama. This went down in. You guys have to see that there's people today that are plotting against the Most High. Maybe they're deceived and they think what they're doing is okay, but a lot of them know. They know. This man was in a Baptist church. He knows what he was doing was wrong. That's why he took his life. And it's sad that he didn't repent. He wound up taking his life. But that's what sin will do. It will lead you to take your own life if you are not careful. It says sin, once fully given full birth, fully birthed, will lead to death. And we see this as a perfect example of this today. So I need you guys to stick with me and just see just the simple truths I'm trying to show you, that this is going on in the church today. This is not just random people, CEOs of companies or managers. This is a pastor and a mayor in Alabama, of all places. This reminds me a lot of Ezekiel 8 specifically. When God tells Ezekiel, he says, "Son of man, dig into the wall." And when I dug into the wall, there was a door. And he said to me, "Go in and see the wicked abominations which they are doing there." So I went in and saw, and there every sort of creeping thing, abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed all around on the walls. And there stood before them 70 men of the elders of the house of Israel. And in their midst stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan. Each had a censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the room of his idols. For the Lord, for they say the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. And he said to me, Turn again, and you will see greater abominations that they are doing. So he brought me to the door of the north gate of the Lord's house, and to my dismay, women were sitting there weeping for Tammuz. Then he said to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Turn again, you will see greater abominations than these. So he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and there at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they were worshiping the sun toward the east. And he said to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Is it a trivial thing to the house of Judah to commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence. Then they have returned to provoke me to anger. Indeed, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore I also will act in fury. My eye will not spare, nor will I pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, I will not hear them. For this is God speaking to us. He's speaking to Ezekiel. Ezekiel wrote this down for the people of that time and for now us as Christians, the Gentile church that has been engrafted in to everything Israel was and is. We're supposed to have the blessings of Jacob, the blessings of Israel upon us, but yet we're doing the same exact things that they were doing in Ezekiel's time. This is over 1,500 years ago. I'm trying to get you guys to see that with what you guys see right here, this is Sodom and Gomorrah all over again. This is the same story when he destroyed 2 whole towns with fire and brimstone. This is Lot's wife all over again. Everything about what's going on today. People not wanting to let go of the world. His wife, um, you know, committing to helping him with this and keeping this a secret. I'm sure she's supposed to be a Christian too. They're both out here helping this man dress up, lure men in to his account. They're probably lusting after this man as they're looking at these photos and having these awful thoughts. Some of them maybe dressing up like him now. Think about how much damage and destruction that goes on that he's saying is a harmless hobby. That's like someone trying to put gas on you and say, I don't see any gas. I don't have a gas can in my hand. How can you have gas on you? And then having matches in their hand, like, what are you talking about? No one's setting you on fire. How can you be on fire? You don't even have gas on you. Then them throwing the match on you, and then you're on fire, and they're still trying to tell you there's no fire. That's what these gaslighters are. These people will set you on fire and tell you it's cool as day. That's what this world is about right now. And it's in the church. The Most High sees it, and he's not pleased. I want to read the scripture to you, 1 Corinthians 13. I'm going to, in this video very shortly. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. It's time for some of us as Christians, and I'm talking to the women of God too. It's time not for some of us, for all of us who have been believing these lies, who have been playing this game, are confused by these things, to become men, true men and women of God, and start seeing the world for what it is and going back to God's word for every single thing we're doing, talking to him throughout the day, praying to him unceasingly throughout the day, praying for our brothers and sisters who are going through tribulations within their, just their environments, whatever they got going on in their life, praying for others that many may be saved. God says, many are called, few are chosen. Paul says, I have kept the faith. I've finished the race. I have kept the faith. There's too many Christians out here believing that we're just, it's just grace. Everything's fine. There's nothing to do now. It's just grace. You prayed the prayer. You go about your life. That's how this man was living. That's why he said, about what he does in his private life is nothing to do with his public life, because he did not understand, or he did not care that we have to keep the faith. We have to follow Jesus every day. We have to wake up with Him on our mind, His words on our mind, saturating our spirit in them, because everything in this world is going to try to tell us to do otherwise. Um, I don't know what chapter it is, but I know it's in First John when he says, "Those who love this world are at enmity with God." And I just think that, it's important. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this video too long. He says right here, "Do not love the world or the things of the world, things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all this is for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, everything that he was doing, is not of the Father, but is of the world, and the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of the Father, but he who does the will of God abides forever. Little children, it is the last hour, and as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, even now many Antichrists have come, by which we know that it is the last hour." I'm not gonna go too much further. I want to keep these videos short. I know a lot of you guys don't have the attention span to even listen to long videos. I'm not even trying to condemn you for it. It does upset me, of course. It upsets me. But that's my beef. That's my emotions. That has nothing to do with you guys. Um, I simply want you guys to start reading the word, start filling your mind, because there's so much you guys don't even. Hopefully you guys understand this. Everything you do on your phone, on your iPad, when you're driving, you see the advertisements everywhere. When you watch TV, you're being filled up subconsciously and consciously with everything but God. And so they're telling you that, you know, there's no conspiracy, there's nothing to see here, but the world has let us in on these secrets. I want to show you this Scooby Doo, this quick part of this episode, where it's right in our face. The the TV has shown us all their secrets and their lies, and we just didn't believe it. And I'm trying to tell you guys, it's time to go from being children to adults in the faith that we walk, and to stop being blind. Things like 9/11, we know the government destroyed those buildings. It was a controlled demolition. There's a building in the back, Building 7, that just fell down. Do you think somehow jet fuel jumped over to that building too? The jet fuel wasn't even enough to destroy the buildings. We're believing these silly lies about tons of things. You guys, I know it's election day today. You guys probably went out to vote. I don't vote. I don't care about who they have to choose, whether you choose the right wing or the left wing. They're two wings of the same bird. They serve the same purpose of the elites, the people at the top. And whoever God allows to be instituted into that role, he's going to use them for his will. Whether they're really for him or not, which none of them are, they're going to do what they're supposed to do for God. This world is not for you to be a part of like that. You get what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm going a little bit too far. Let me just show you this quick, and then I'll end this video.
I gotta hand it to you kids, finding that missing armored car after all these years. But who are these two?
Don't you recognize them, Sheriff?
Why, it's Zeb and Zeke.
They were the ones that hijacked the armored car and sunk it in the swamp.
Then they waited all this time till it was safe to look for it, but couldn't find it.
So they invented the Witch and Zombie Act to keep people away.
While they searched the swamp with a metal-tipped pole.
I get it. The pole would make a metallic sound when it hit the armored car.
Yeah, and then they'd pull it up with the winch.
They had us fooled for a while with an old smokescreen trick. Show 'em, Velma.
Zeke the witch could appear and vanish as if by magic behind a cover of smoke. Watch.
Well, they sure had everything figured out. But where they're going, I don't think their disappearing act will ever work.
Well, what started out as a fishing trip sure ended in a dandy mystery. What's Scooby doing?
Oh, he's still fishing. Oh,
That was one quick example about how these plots be so sinister, bro. They be thinking about everything. And Scooby Doo is showing us, a bunch of these shows and movies have been showing us what they've been up to behind the scenes. I was just talking about the church. The world's doing this stuff too. We know Jerry Epstein and all this stuff out there, man. Just have your eyes wide open. Last thing I want to say is be disciples of Christ and not disciples of men. You're not a disciple of Miles Monroe or T.D. Jakes or John MacArthur or Paul Washer. You're a disciple of Jesus Christ. And so I need you guys to focus. I'm not God. God needs us all to focus in on him and really be about his business and keep our eyes open to what he's doing. Because if not, the devil's going to say he can open our eyes and we can be like God. And he's going to try to get us to fall for the things of so-called knowledge instead of truly God's wisdom and the things of God. So that's where I want to end this video. I love you guys. I am praying for you guys, everyone that watches this video. And God has told me I'm supposed to be about his business. I don't mean in some like verbal, like he spoke in a voice. I mean, just by reading his word, I'm realizing, man, I need to get on my job as an ambassador of Christ. 2 Corinthians 5, I believe it is. We need to be on our jobs, a mission for Christ, man. So I'm going to be doing more of these videos more frequently to minister to you guys, to minister to myself. As I do these videos, it blesses myself to get in the word. So God bless you guys. We'll talk again soon. Peace.